The second story in the current run of Magic the Gathering comics has been concluded. Yay! And therefore, I'm doing this small video on it, talking about whether you should read this storyline. So, yeah. Now, in the last video, I conclude that you should read the comics even if you don't play Magic, although you should be aware of references and such. However, this does not mean the second story will be as good. There's only one way to find out. So, let's get some background on this. The story is written by Jed MacKay, just like last time, and the art is from Ike Guara. MacKay used to write for the story for Black Cat, which I used to love, or I still love. I think that was a great storyline. And Guara did the artwork for Ghost Spider, which, funnily enough, I also thought was amazing. Still some great talent behind the story, so let's get to the very first issue in this story, what they will call issue 11. Before we get too far into the comics themselves, I'm not gonna talk too much about the covers on them like I usually would do, simply because they're short comics and all of the covers looks amazing, so just assume I love the covers. Alright, so issue 11 is a bit of an in-between from previous story to the new one, and it works. We get some character work on Chandra, letting us know she will be the main character along with Garruk. It's great to see such different planeswalkers who work together. Both are fun in their own ways. The issue promises a lot of fun, and it keeps the weird combination of planeswalkers working together motif going that it had in the first storyline, where we had Ral, Sarek, Vraska and Kaya, and now we have Garruk and Chandra, and we will have more, but it's just weird planeswalkers you're not used to working together, and it's just what we want. So yeah, good promise. Let's get to issue number 12. Something these comics do really well is working with both well-known planeswalkers, but also the lesser known like Davriel and I suppose to Garruk if you haven't played that long. Not saying either is completely unknown, but I doubt a lot of people have cared about their character and really only care about their cards, to be honest. In general, I love this new team, using Chandra as one of the most known planeswalkers. She is from the Gatewatch, she's an original storyline. All of Kaladesh was basically about her, or at least the family. And then surrounding her with these lesser known or less cared for planeswalkers is a great way to, keep people interested while still introducing the characters and making them interested. So just because the characters aren't in the main group of the Gatewatch or in the Gatewatch, they are still gonna be present in the comics. They're still gonna make you interested. So far, even though we're only the second one in, the seeds of the story is really good. And at this point, it really makes you wonder why Niv Mizzet is the bad guy. And I couldn't personally see him as a bad guy. I didn't think I would enjoy Davriel as much as I do, because he just seems weird, but damn it, I want to sit and have a cup of coffee with him. I love how all of his character is basically him caring about spells, like where he learned them, how they work, and the story behind them. I could see him talking for hours how X-Spell was created to do something insanely specific, and then hours upon hours on how he learned it and how it could be used and who the creator were and what plane is it from. And then also seeing Chandra being the one to come up with the plan for taking on Davriel is just a treat, because she's always framed as this hot-headed girl who just wants to go in blazing and not think, and here she stops and goes, alright, what would Jace do? I mean, I don't remember if that's actually what she said, but it's kind of the mentality you are working with here. And it's wonderful, it's perfect. It shows some character growth from all the Gatewatch storylines, and just in general, every time she's on, it's like, I'm just gonna burn it until it works. Now we get her to think. So, such a good storyline. So far, so good. This entire issue is just the test of the characters, and it's good. It's so fucking good. I don't even have much to say, since I don't want to spoil the test nor how it goes. how the character works, the way it's framed, everything is just it's so good, and it's probably most likely, almost definitely by far the best issue of all the previous, and I can say now also probably the best of the entire storyline. It's so fucking good. If you take anything from this video, it is issue 14. Like, it's so good, and you nearly don't even need to read all the other ones to understand it. It's so well done on its own. Yeah, go read issue 14 and then let's continue on. I love Ghost Speaker Jace. He's so cool, and he's just the perfect vessel to help out. It's especially great to still have him in some form of fashion instead of just having survived the previous story. I know it's kind of a spoiler, but it makes the storyline of the previous story not completely wasted. Now, when I did read this issue, it actually got me to think, is this comic book run canon? And the answer is no. And that's good. And here's why I think it's good. It allows McKay to tell his stories as Iguara to just draw out the stories in a perfectly fine way without having to care about what the current storyline is or what the next storyline is going to be. Because if they had to care about that, we couldn't have Jace dead, because there's no reference to him being dead at any point, and we know he'll have to come back to life and all that. Like, there's so many things, and they'll remove a lot of tension here. They can do what they want, I guess within limits of Wizards of the Coast, but pretty much do what they want and have fun with it, and I love that. So yeah, it's not canon, but it's still damn good. Tezzeret being the overall bad guy and just wanting power is, straight up of Tezzeret's character. It's just how we expect him to be. There are no surprises going on here, but it certainly is a great way of balancing out the weirdness of the team of Misfit led by Chandra, and just like it balances out the story, because if Tezzeret were into something weird, of the enemy was someone we had no idea about or whatever, I think it would be too much. So this is a great way of doing it. Now, where was I? Oh yeah. Actually, I don't have much more to say, other than, yeah, I think McKay and Iguara did a great job taking care of this, and yeah, I can't wait to read the last 4 issues. Alright, given some time to show how... What? Alright, time to show how cruel but also how smart Tezzeret is. Showing us how he controls Kaya, Rell and Vraska not by force, but by being smart is so great. Like, really, it just reminds me of issue 14 with the test of character. Here it's just the opposite. Here it's the test of how clever he is and using weakness against them. You're working on a fundamental level of the characters in the same way issue 14 did. But now you're working with the known characters. You kind of already know the old characters, their shtick and all that. And now it's being turned against them. And it's so fucking good. I think this one alone is in contention with issue 14 as being the best issue. So yeah, if you have read issue 14, read issue 17. Yeah, yes, you should. That was such an amazing plan. I loved how they tricked and used Tezzeret's own mythology to gain entrance in and out of Ravnica. And I loved how they ended up using Tybalt, even though he's the enemy and all, and it was so well thought of. And with the distraction for Teferi and Jace, and how everyone got saved in the end. And I don't have much to say, and it's kind of sad, because Jace and Vraska, the scene at the end with them, gosh darn it, they're my favorite couple of all time in the Magic universe. They are so cute. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say. The overall story has been amazing so far. It's better than the first. Let's get to the penultimate issue. Gotta admit, it's pretty sweet seeing all the Planeswalkers following Chandra in their wish to kill Tezzeret. I mean, of course they all hate him, so it makes sense, and of course they want to kill him and all. But it was still awesome seeing, and it was awesome with Chandra coming up with everything. It's so great for a character. I think it's awesome seeing her being the mature, planning, sensible one. You miss it having a second body ready. It's exactly what I would expect from the first leader of the Izzet clan and one of the smartest in the multiverse, and just, yeah, hands on exactly what I would expect from him if I knew he lost his body. So yeah, I love it, and let's get to the the last issue 20. The ending of the story is perfect. Spoiler alert, I love they actually killed Tezzeret. And assuming we can call this a parallel multiverse, that means in this multiverse Tezzeret is dead for good. Well, until someone revives him, it's magic, so he's probably gonna be back at some point. He probably has a backup plan in case something goes wrong, and a backup plan for that, and a backup plan for that, and so on. And no doubt in this multiverse we'll see both Nicol Bolas as Tezzeret, and yeah, so many other enemies, even though, they're supposed to be finished. Probably also see Eldrazi at some point. Yeah, but really good story, good ending to the story overall. Let's get to the conclusion for all of them and talk about whether you should read them or not. So what is there to conclude on? Not really much then, other than, McKay and Grauer kept the level of quality up to the same as the previous story. It does, however, get more difficult to argue that the stories are worth reading if you don't care about Magic the Gathering. This story particularly requires a bit more of understanding how the universe works and who the different characters are. I believe it would still be possible to get into the story without the previous one, but you will be very confused a lot of the time, I feel. However, if you play Magic and only understand the lore from the cards, I actually think you would be fine. And also if you don't play Magic but you read the previous one and now I'm gonna plan on reading this one, I also think you're gonna be perfectly fine. So can I recommend it? Yes, if you either play Magic or understand the lore or read the previous story. If you're just going into this blind, go back to the previous storyline. It's perfectly good, it's wonderful, but this one is probably going to be too confusing with too many characters that you're expected to know. Anyways, leave a like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the comics. Do you think they're good? Do you think they're worth it? Are you sad they're not canon? Because I'm particularly not, but I could also see the fun of having a canon comic storyline. Yeah, let me know down in the comments below.